what we're trying to do now, what you're trying to do successfully, and I'm reporting on, I think successfully, is that Jews and Christians can have a meaningful relationship that does not include one person trying to change the other to his belief. I very much oppose debate about, oh, this is the way I interpret Isaiah, whatever. This is the way you interpret. I very much reject that.
That I don't. I
what?
don't. Okay. I want, for the record, to say I don't. That's part of the. So I think this is the point of the discussion.
But
we have to differentiate between Christian support of Israel and Jewish-Christian relations, and in that, it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand.
Okay, I'll touch on that on 1 second. At the same time, as I said, it's been the defining aspect of the relationship between the faiths. There's a disparity in that in the Christian religion, I believe connected to Pentecost, that's my understanding, the mandate to bring other people to believe in Jesus is hardwired in. Whereas in Judaism, it's actually forbidden to proselytize. And when I first started, and please correct me if I'm wrong in my understanding, when I first started reaching out to Christians, I thought it was understood, this is a meeting of equals, and it wasn't, because many of them would at one point in the relationship start telling me about Jesus and say that my only path to salvation is through Jesus. And it was, first of all, it was a little bit demeaning. It's like saying, you're going to hell unless you believe like me. Not a great basis for a relationship. What I compared it to was forcing candy onto a diabetic guest. The man comes in, would you like some candy? No, thank you. Sure, it's great. It's the best thing in my life. It's the best candy I've ever tasted. Please eat this candy. If I do, it will kill me. Oh, you don't understand. It won't kill you. Look what it does to me. It never killed me. Yes, but it will kill me. And they continued. It's at the very least insensitive and impolite. And unfortunately, I think it raises echoes of much worse things in history.
Okay, so I would like to qualify that, because I understand you and I have had these discussions on the phone on Jewish-Christian relations. And that's why I think hopefully we'll get to the differentiation between Christian support for Israel and Jewish-Christian relations. All Christians who are committed to their faith want others to believe in Jesus, period. Okay, they are there to be a witness to the world for people to believe in Jesus. Now, the question comes in is, what do we do with the Jewish people? So many Christians, especially within the evangelical world, will say this: I can't make you believe in anything. All I can be is the best witness for Jesus. But part of that means sharing the faith of how he or she came to Jesus. It doesn't mean once they give you this message that you automatically now have to go ahead and accept. You can't say no. And obviously, within the Orthodox community, there is always a no to this. But the person, from a Christian point of view, is, in a way, and this is the whole concept of Pentecost. I mean, they're out there afterwards to spread the gospel to the world. Right. How you wish to define what the gospel means and how do you necessarily share this then becomes about the practicing of this Great Commission. But they're going to share their faith, whether you're a Jew or a non-Jew.
Okay, but to
whether
be honest,
you're a Muslim, whether you're a Buddhist, it's just an overall thing within, even especially in committed Christians. For them, Jesus is the most perfect revelation. Obviously, as Jews, in the context of our Judaism, we don't subscribe to that theology.
Okay, to be honest, yeah. If that was where it ended, I wouldn't have a problem. And though to be perfectly honest, I
No,
think
you're
that those
perfectly
people-
honest. You're not happy with that. We've had these conversations.
I don't mind if they preach to me, and I'll tell you where the line is.
Okay.
I think though, to be honest, to be perfectly honest about what happened on Sunday, I think that the Orthodox Jews and who were protesting the Christian prayer event, they just don't want to hear the word Jesus in Israel.
Okay, I was going to get to that. I think that's
Okay.
that's a different there's a Jewish reaction.
Yes,
There's Jewish reaction, but I think first, because you have both Jews and Christians listening to you, and there are going to be people who are going to be critical of what we're saying right now, even critical that we're even approaching the subject. I think it's important to have a healthy discussion first.
Yes.
That if you are a committed Christian and you believe Jesus is the most perfect revelation, and you have a mandate to share that to the world, that's what it means to be Christian. Now, I understand from Judaism, we decided over our exile period not to proselytize, that you should become Jewish. We don't have this theology in order to be saved or get olam haba, get a portion into the world to come, you have to be Jewish. We don't have a theology of a Great Commission concept.
Right.
In the sense that you have to be Jewish in order to get a piece in the next world. Whereas in Christianity, that is the doctrine.
Right. I wanted to add that my response to those Jewish protesters would have been that I have never found a source for xenophobia in the Bible or in rabbinic literature. More so the opposite. When King Solomon dedicated the temple, he asked God that the foreigner's prayer would be accepted. We should be a light unto the nations. There's a lot of sources for this connection. And to be really honest, when I have had connections with Christians where they tell me about their relationship with Jesus and their faith in Jesus, it's really inspiring to me. Even as a Jew, it has zero relevance to me other than the fact that perhaps I can learn something from it. My problem with it comes when the finger all of a sudden goes like this, and they're like, "And you," and I'm like, "No, that's the end." And
Okay.
it's a pity, because to be really honest, my relationships with Christians and hearing about their faith and having this significant and meaningful relationship with them has been a huge inspiration for me. I've actually walked away from these contacts, from these dialogues, thinking to myself, "Wow, if they knew what a schlepper I was, they wouldn't even talk to me, because they're really, very devout people." And I walk away saying, "I've got to be a better Jew," and I think that would be the ideal.
I disagree with you. I want a Christian to be a Jesus-centered Christian.
Me too.
I really do.
Me too.
And I want that. I believe if they are sincerely a Jesus-centered Christian, there's a lot of conversation that we can advance in Jewish-Christian relations, which is a very, very unique calling. For a Christian to understand that the identity of Jesus. Now, remember, Christians believe that Jesus is 100% divine. They also believe he's 100% human. But I'm saying to that, in his humanity, he grew up as a Jew. And I would say from a Christian theological point of view, Jesus is still a Jew for a Christian.